The man convicted of killing an Omaha woman in front of her children died in prison. Bobby Wallace died Sunday. He was found unresponsive in his cell at the reception and treatment center in Lincoln. Staff performed CPR, but medics pronounced him deceased. He was 45 years old. Wallace was serving 40 to 60 years in prison for the second-degree murder. 10 years ago, he killed Laverne Eubanks. She was stabbed and beaten in front of her 4 young children. Her 13-year-old son fought off Wallace at one point, even grabbing a knife from him.